Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of History Before Us, and I am in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the historic Oberlin District, and I'm at a home that I see often when I'm visiting Raleigh, North Carolina, because I intentionally go to historically Black places, and that is Oberlin Village. And I've seen this Turner home on the street numerous times as I pass by, but I never knew if it was open or anything like that. And right now I have a descendant. Cheryl Williams. Thank you, Cheryl, for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Welcome. I'm so glad you are here to share my family history and the history of Oberlin with your viewers.
Absolutely.
I do follow you guys. So welcome to the historic Turner House. My name is Cheryl Williams, and I'm very glad that you guys are here tuning in. Our mission is to provide programs that educate the community and history lovers of untold cultural and historic stories related to the Turner family and others who resided in historic Oberlin Village in Raleigh.
Absolutely. I'm gonna shut this door because
Okay.
I hear a lot of stuff going, y'all. But look, we're gonna go outside too, y'all, so y'all will be able to see the outdoors at some point. There's a hole right here. Is this a bullet hole?
No, probably
No?
just a rock.
Just a rock? Okay.
Yeah.
People
Yeah,
throwing
that's
rocks.
Well, that's been a while.
Okay, gotcha.
I represent the historic Turner House Foundation. We're a nonprofit, and we're an extension of 14 years of just learning about this history for this place, telling stories to young people, different civic groups. We have partnerships with some of the parks and recreation and cultural facilities in North Carolina. And our organization strives to continue to be an educator, but also a preservationist of this property. The property was constructed by my great-grandfather, John Thompson Turner, in 1889.
1889.
He was enslaved by the Cameron family, who was one of the largest slaveholders east of the Mississippi. At one time, he probably had about 1,000 enslaved people.
And so I got to put this plug in real quick. And so I had another episode with Brother Ricky Hart, and that episode is centered on the Stagville Plantation, historic Stagville Plantation. And so please make sure to peruse through a lot of my videos here on YouTube, and you will be able to see that specific episode because that's where your ancestors came from. Gotcha. So a little shameless plug.
That's fine. I love Ricky. And I'm a part of the Stagville Descendants Council as
sure.
well. This house and its contents represent a family and other families whose life journey traveled from enslavement to freedom to prosperity. John and Mary built this house in 1889. We sit on 7/8 of an acre lot. It is listed on the National Registry of Historic Sites and under Raleigh's historic sites.
Good.
Two criteria. Criteria C for architecture and criteria A for African American ethnic heritage and social history. The home was purchased by John Thompson Turner, an African American entrepreneur, and his wife, Mary Dickerson, for $500.
$500 for this big old house.
Well, it wasn't big at that time.
Okay, we
but
had
the
some add-on
land,
stuff
but
too.
the land.
Okay,
yes.
I got you.
And they purchased it from R.H. Battle, an attorney who practiced in Raleigh, with his partner George Mordecai, on February 5th.
Any ties to
1889.
Mordecai Park? Of course.
This is significant because Mordecai married Margaret Cameron, who inherited many of my family.
Okay.
When Judge Cameron died, she inherited, and that's an interesting fact. A lot of the slave-holding families left the property, the people property, to their daughters, so that they would be more marriageable at the time.
So I'm assuming that, and we're talking about your great-grandfather.
Yes.
Right. So,
yes. So he was
his father enslaved?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Now Walker Turner was, born in 1861.
Okay.
So he was a toddler. When they were freed from enslavement, at first they were farmers in what is now Warrington County, and then with his father, Walker Turner. So Walker Turner, my great-great-grandfather, he was a shoemaker. There were 4 on the plantation. And he and 3 other people would make the shoes for the folk that were working.
Now, real quick, so the interesting piece is, okay, so my family is out of Warren County.
Okay.
So my tallies are out of Warren County. And then I just saw, obviously the Plummer house is next door.
Yes.
Well, kind of next door. And he's out of Warren County
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And so it's just interesting to see all these ties to
Yes.
Warren
Oh, it
County.
is.
So many ties to
It
this
is.
area come from Warren County and
Yeah.
Halifax and those specific areas. And
It
so,
does. And the interesting thing, if you think about that time, we could not buy property.
For sure.
So this was not a part of Raleigh, didn't become annexed till later on in time. And so it was okay for the developers then, to figure out a little niche for their real estate prosperity, and they sold to the people here. Okay. So John and Mary were married on June 28th, and the marriage certificate was witnessed by William Graves, whose house is next door to the Plummer house. He was a prominent person here, evidencing that they were in Oberlin by 1888.
Okay.
So Mary's family is thought to have come to Raleigh with the white family that her mother cooked for. They had 5 children: Lula in 1889, Annie 1891, Margaret 1894, John Jerome, who's my grandfather, in 1898, and Ira Ezra in 1889. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you obviously have memories being in this place.
Oh yeah, we would come here for holidays, the summer.
Okay.
And then I lived here for a little while before I got married and moved to Garner.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go to Grandma's
That's
room.
where we're starting at? Grandma's room?
This is Grandma's room. This is probably my favorite room in the house. I love the bed. I love just the ambiance of the room. So this tiger oak furniture is produced when a log is sliced using a quarter cut method. Quarter cut slicing produces that flake, that tiger pattern by exposing.
And you're talking about this right here.
And emphasizing the medullary rays of the log.
Okay.
So that's highly craftsmanship.
Yeah.
So it's seen throughout the house. And whenever you see this type of oak, this is reminiscent of the wealth that John and Mary Turner were able to attain.
Okay.
He started as a farmer. He sold household goods from a little store in front of the house on Oberlin Road. Then it was a dirt lane called Hillsborough Lane. He opened up a shoe store on Hargett Street, which in Raleigh, the Black Wall Street was Hargett Street.
Okay, so that's I was just going to ask you,
downtown.
Would this be considered it, or would
No,
somewhere,
downtown,
okay, so
on
okay.
Hargett Street.
Gotcha.
The partnership with other notables like Barry O'Kelly, Britton Pierce, and Turner was dissolved in 1911, and then Turner and O'Kelly ended their partnership about 1925. Okay. So John Jerome Turner,
Which
the
is your grandfather.
next generation, my grandfather, managed the store. The shoe store did not survive the Depression era. And so Tulia Hall Turner, who was married to John Jerome, was a seamstress. And her income as a seamstress paid the taxes on this property. And that's why
able to keep it.
that is really why it's still in the family.
Shout out to Black
very,
women.
very proud of that. So if you notice the light fixtures, the ceilings, the architecture, the wainscoting on the walls, the cherry wood furniture is all authentic to that period in history.
But is it authentic to the home? Like,
Oh yeah,
all of this.
Oh yes, this has been here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I have slept in the bed that my great grandparents, my great grandparents, my parents. Okay, a lot of history, both tactical and also emotional in this house.
Yes, for sure.
The
Well, let me ask you real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but for you, because I'm also a mental health therapist, right? And so it's always interesting to me to see where people's emotional connections are, right? Some people's, and I'm using this word loosely, God is money, right? Some people's God is materialistic things, right? For you, what is this space? And for you to be able to come here and give tours in your ancestral home, literally, what does that
the history,
emotionally do
preserving
for you?
the history, not only here, but I shared with you, I also work at a city park that is steeped in traumatic history, and I that just sparks my joy.
Gotcha.
The mahogany that you see, that would be the next generation. Okay. And I like to tell the students that electrical service in to American homes began in the late 1890s and blossomed from 1920 to 1935, by which time 70% of American homes were connected with the electrical utility grid. But you were pretty well off if you could afford to equip your home with electricity. The furniture, and I always have to tell young folk this, the furniture was made using classic carpentry. There's no nails in this stuff. And also, this type of carpentry was perfected by the ancient Egyptians, who are African. And it shows evidence of using a wide variety of joinery that we still use today. And then before that, it was the Chinese. So this world and peoples of this world have contributed a lot to where we stand now. And in the context of today, where people want to tell us that, oh, nothing happened until my ancestors got here, because they were European, that's just not true.
Yeah, things were moving and shaking way before then. That's for sure.
It was. So here I've curated some things. This is my grandmother's jewelry. She was always dressed to the nines. And even when we would go down to what was called Cameron Village, we would have to get dressed up too. And then, of course, you know, when you get back home, you have to take off your nice clothes and put on your other clothes.
Gotcha.
And then this is a cookbook, my great-grandmother's cookbook. Is ironic because she was not known for her cooking. And but this was done by a chemical company, and they, just like the cooks of today, Rachel Ray, Martha Stewart, some of the more famous people today that have all their accessories and books, they did the same thing.
Wow.
They did the same thing. So the more things changed, the more they stayed the same. Over here, this is my grandmother's sewing machine. When we were getting ready to curate and set up the room, this table has been here since I can remember. And one of my volunteers, we were dusting it off. We opened it up, and lo and behold, we had her sewing machine.
Do you remember seeing her sewing?
Not so much, because when we came down, it was really holidays, vacations, so she wasn't working. And then a friend of mine gave me this Sally Stitch, which is a model that a seamstress would use to make her patterns and do her sewing. And so that is a treasure. It wasn't my grandmother's, but it would have been of that,
for sure,
of that time. And then I always have to talk about the military service, especially today.
Let's talk about it.
Every generation of Americans has been a patriot, a person who has been willing to give their life. So this family, this is the Williams family. They were also an Oberlin family. So his ancestor fought in the Indian Wars, and actually his regiment was the support regiment for General Custer at that infamous battle that Custer lost.
So this is okay. So this is Nelson Wilson.
Yes.
Right here. These are grandchildren.
Great-grandchildren.
These are great-grandchildren, and he would be who to you?
He is an in-law to me.
Okay, so he's an in-law to you.
An in-law to me. And then the same family, Fred here, he was in World War I. He
Joseph.
is World War II. So each year, World War II, here's one here. This is actually my husband, Bernard Williams.
Okay.
He is in the Navy, and this gentleman here was in the Air Force. And when the people come to visit the house, I ask them, anybody who has military service people in their family, raise your hand. And always it's everybody, no matter what they're from. My grandfather fought in World War I. So these are some of his, not his dog tags, but this would have been the knot that he prepared. He was a medic. Okay. So this was their button for their insignia.
And there's John Jerome.
Yep. And then these are just badges of, famous Black Tuskegee Airmen, the
whole kit and caboodle.
Yes. So then we can go into the dining room. And the way I do I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. Usually the tour is about an hour. So what I usually do is whatever the people are drawn to, I will spend my time there. I do want to highlight, though, that one of the reasons that we're so successful is that we do partner with not only elementary schools or the educational resources that we have, but other resources as well.
Can you, so I think it's, obviously partnership is important. So what has the partnership here in Wake County done as it relates to keeping the story of the Turner House alive?
Well, I think, Stagville is not in Wake County, they're in Durham County, but because the descendants have organized and the administration there is very open to telling that enslavement story as opposed to just the white slave owner story, that has been great. We participate. Now here in Wake County, I'm on the board with State Archives. They came in and did an assessment to teach me how to catalog, how to archive, the importance of, having a system in place. Mordecai, which we come full circle there. They come and we participate with their summer travelers program where the kids go to different historic sites. They come here and they do a genealogy project and also a cemetery project. I've had funding. There's an organization through the city of Raleigh that gave me funding so that I could put together my brochures, my name tag, just so I would be more professional. So in terms of that, we really do that. And I'm currently writing grants. I'll take any amount of money because we need to do some preservation. Obviously, the house is very old, and because it's on the National Register, we have to preserve it, restore it with like materials. So it gets pretty expensive. Okay. Yeah. I did, in our time, I wanted to talk about the enslavement story. So this is a copy of a document from 1853. When Margaret Cameron, the inventory of her inheritance.
And this goes all the way up to, is this the same?
No, this is the ledger of her inheritance. These other places are, because he had 5 plantations here and then a couple in Alabama and some other places. But you talked about emotion and mental health. To actually see the name of my ancestors and the value. The gift though was, we were always taught all we did was pick cotton and not very much. We didn't do very much. Right. But here's an ancestor who was a shoemaker. And so anything that the people made, they had to do the process of making the leather, right? So that's a skill set. They had to work with the iron for the tools that they did. They had to build the structures. They had to clear the land, plant the food, gather it. But each of those industries, so to speak, requires a certain level of skill set. This is artifacts from Stagville that's held by the state archaeology department. So I told you that my grandfather was a cobbler. Yes. So here's the cobbler's mold.
So this is what your ancestors,
yes,
of course,
this is what he did. Yeah. And can I tell you the emotion of they allowed the descendants, that's why I love Stagville, and Vera in particular, they allowed us to handle these items. And just knowing that my ancestor was a part of that. His wife was the cook. So this shovel is an ash shovel. Yeah. Now, whether she used it to clear the fire ash or if it was a child's job to clear it, but just something like that. And then, railroad ties, all these tools made by iron. Well, guess what? They didn't go to the store. We made that. Yeah. We made that. Just like today, everything is of record. And usually the people in power, whatever they're giving you, they're tallying what they gave you. So this is a record of the food rations given to the enslaved families on the Peaksville quarter of the Cameron Plantation in 1862. So they would give an inadequate ration of food to the people. Now we're working, 12 hours a day out in the hot sun or in the cold, in the rain.
Yeah.
And each family was issued an amount of salt, pork, and corn meal.
Yeah.
So they had to forage, garden, fish, or trap small animals to supplement their diets. So no wonder the food, and I bring that up for the food industry.
Yeah.
You know, we learned how to cook. We learned how to make something out of nothing, as my grandmother would say.
For sure.
And then in the hallway, so I saw you taking a picture.
Yeah.
This is Lula.
Okay.
When she was
who's
a
Lula?
little girl. She is the oldest child of John Thompson and Mary.
Okay.
And we found that when we were curating. And when I was a little girl, I found her practice sewing book. So I kept it. I had no idea I would need it or it would be
Right.
something special, okay? This hallway, my Uncle John really curated this. And I always wondered, okay, why the buffalo? Why Egypt? Why Africa? And now why Chinese? What's the connection? And he just planted seeds. So first of all, I tell students that the Middle East is Africa. Okay, let's get to the truth.
Yeah.
And also that the indigenous people of the North American continent have contributed a lot.
For sure.
Columbus just didn't discover this place. There was lots of things going on and learning.
Yeah.
And then we walked through here. Lula went to St. Augustine, but she got sick and she died of TB. So that's Lula,
this is Lula.
as a young woman.
Okay, there's Lula again. She was stylish.
Yeah.
Had the turtleneck, had the...
Yes.
Okay, that's what's up.
Well, people dressed back then. You
for
know,
sure.
coming out, whether you were coming out of enslavement or not, when you threw off those less than quality clothes, you wanted to wear something that was attractive.
And here's I see an award that's here.
Yes, that's my uncle. He was the one that pushed us being on the National Register.
That's good.
So this is recognition for his dedication for the historic preservation.
Okay.
And so that's where I get my bug from. I describe myself as a history enthusiast.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. This architecture too, with this scrolling, the size of the steps, it's all perfect for that time, the molding and everything. And then this is the living room. And so again, we see that tiger oak. And this is original. There's 6 fireplaces in the property.
Wow.
This is original tile. It was a coal-burning fireplace. And this is my great-grandfather's desk.
Okay.
So he would have been ordering his inventory, paying his bills. And I talk to people about this because sometimes the stereotype about black folk is that, you know, we don't read, we don't do a lot of things. But he had full volumes of Shakespeare and the classics that we learned usually in high school.
Now, as it relates to the Oberlin Village community within itself and the Turner history,
Yes.
right? The connection over the decades, did it grow distant because people were moving out due to urban renewal and then
Jim
Like
Crow.
Jim Crow, like what was?
Yeah, it really did. After the Civil War, it was a close-knit community. You knew your neighbors, churches were thriving, there was a middle class being built because we could not participate in the other stores. So there was an opportunity for us to build wealth. And we've just been an intelligent people.
Yeah.
I put these books out, so that people can see the depth and the variety of reading. Okay. Now this is the genealogy of the Turner family that I wrote. This gentleman here is Lawrence Scruggs. He was one of the 3 first licensed blacks. Dr. Pope has his house
Okay.
in
Yeah,
downtown
yeah,
Raleigh.
for sure. Okay, so
there was
that's
three of them.
that lived in that house.
Well, no, that
So
he
purchased it.
lived there and he had his practice there.
Oh, okay.
But in the history, there was three people that graduated from Leonard Medical School that were the first three that received their license to practice from the state of North Carolina.
Okay.
And Scruggs went on to teach at St. Aug,
Okay.
the nursing school, and so a lot of the doctors and nurses that came through. But Scruggs was also a feminist, so he wrote this book, Women of Distinction. So in this book, you have people like Phyllis Wheatley, you know, Ida B. Wells, Harriet Edmonia Lewis. You know, we know who these people are, and if you don't, History of Fisk University.
Yeah.
So he wrote
I've
this.
heard of Miss Fanny M. Jackson Coppin too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now he married a Turner, an ancestor of mine.
Okay.
And so he lived here for a short time.
Wow.
And because back then the professionals could not join the white professional associations, so we started our own. So he started one for the doctors, and it's still going today.
Beautiful.
It's still going today.
Now, when y'all had family reunions, would this be the center point?
Yeah, we would come. We haven't done that in a long time, but yes, because there's enough space. There's enough space. And then this is the Historic Black Neighborhoods of Raleigh, which was written by Carmen Coffin.
Yeah. I'm going to be connecting with her soon.
Yes, she is. She's a very good friend.
Yeah.
And she gives you a lot of the history that we know about, but then she goes even further, and there was a large baseball enthusiasm here. I think even the fire department here. So she does gasoline stations.
Okay.
So she has a take on it as well.
Okay.
And then these are just other ones. So, and this furniture here, this is pretty much the same.
That's what it was.
Furniture from when I was growing up. And
so nostalgia never left you. You've
no,
always had it
didn't.
because
Yeah.
this is
and
been
we
what
would
it's
sit
been.
around and talk. So, you know, my great grandparents, they knew the plumbers.
Yeah.
They knew the Graves. They knew
just about to ask that,
Yeah,
like-
they knew the different people because their children were going to school, they were going to church, and they were patrons of each other.
For sure.
They would support each other's businesses.
So some of the pictures that we have on the wall, who are some of these folks?
All right, so this is Tulia and Jerome Turner.
Okay, this is your grandfather
That's
and your grandmother.
grandfather and grandmother. That's my Uncle Red Top. His name is Jerome as well.
Okay.
Jerome Hall. And then these are my parents, Geraldine Turner and Alan Crooms. And this is John Virgil Turner. He worked at NCCU, so he was a scholar. He went to school there. He taught there. He became dean of the business school, and then he was the concierge for the chancellor for many years. So he worked for NCCU for 50 years.
Wow.
So wherever you see eagles, that's him. That's him. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And
Okay.
this
What about
is
this
going
room?
to be our our souvenir shop.
Okay.
So these pictures here were gifted to me by State Archives. This was the graduating class of Oberlin School, which was next door. A lot of the kids from Oberlin went to Oberlin School. And then I think that's Oberlin Road there. That's where
When did the school get?
they integrated finally in 65?
Okay.
Don't hold me to the dates.
Okay. I got you.
Don't hold me to the dates, but I know that those amendments to the Constitution, and that's the other thing that I think is so important for people to know, and what I'd like people to know from this experience is that our Constitution was made to benefit white male landowners. So everybody else had to fight for their civil rights. And with the amendments, those early 3 amendments, first of all, it made us people, and then it gave us the right to an education, and then the right to vote. It wasn't just us. It gave all those other people that was not landowners.
Yeah.
And
As well as individuals who then came into.
yes. So you've got birthright. citizenship, all of those things that are being challenged
Today.
now. And it's important. It's important for people, I think, to know that it's not a Black or African American thing. It's any immigrant, any person,
For sure.
no matter who you love, we all have should have equal rights.
Absolutely.
We all should have equal rights. So that's pretty much it. I've got pictures. I have cards. What size T-shirt do you wear? We can exchange T-shirt. Yeah.
I got a large.
Okay.
I'll do the swap with you.
There you go. There you go.
We bartering, y'all.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. I love it.
So I'm so happy that you spent this time with me today.
For sure.
I love telling the story. And everybody's family has these stories. We're by no means, famous or celebrity. Talk to the history nerd in your family and
become one.
Yeah, become the history nerd. Find out what great things your ancestors did, or the people that are in your family right now.
Yeah.
You might have somebody that just won the NCCA championship, or invented a new way to do something. So, it's wonderful to know your history.
So, lastly, before we leave, what do you want not only the community of Raleigh to know and remember about the legacy of this home, but also all of these other unheralded stories across the country? These homes that some people may just drive by and be like, oh yeah, it's just an old house, right? So what would you like to, convey to people about these old bones in these homes?
Definitely. The threads, the stories they tell of each person's contribution. We wouldn't be the great country that we are without everybody doing their part. And some people work quietly, they don't have all the accolades, but they're doing great work. And I believe that for young people especially, if you know your history, then you have a certain confidence and a self-esteem, so that when someone is trying to hurt you or bully you, you could say, no, I'm not accepting that, because I know whose I am.
That's right.
And I know that my people contributed something great.
Yeah, I love it. Website, anything like that, where people can find you all?
Yes, please. We're always trying to preserve www.historicturnerhouse.org. Go and peruse, go to the different pages. We've got articles, we've got videos. And I also bring in other history. It's not just Turner.
Okay.
So there is something for everybody. We have a quarterly newsletter that we do, and we are currently fundraising for some preservation funds. So if you've got a few extra pennies or dollars, you can go on the website and donate. We would really appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to show me around this house that again, like I mentioned to you, I've seen numerous times while being here in Raleigh. And like I tell you all, as it relates to history before us, this is my passion. This is what I love to do, which is to show you all this underrepresented history that, maybe locals are familiar with, and then sometimes they're not. But to also put it out there to the masses with my little platform to say, hey, be inquisitive. The next time you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, touch base, get your own private tour of the home, as well as hopefully it encourages you and elicits an emotion to do some of your own family research or community research as well. So like I always say, if you like this type of content, please make sure to subscribe and share and get ready for the next episode. Peace.
Great.